What up, my podcast people?
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Motherhood Unhinged, all things Christ, coffee, and the chaos. My name's Chandra.
Courtney.
Chelsea.
Don't mind her.
I'm a little jacked up on espresso.
Today, we're going to talk about all things stay-at-home mom versus working mom. Is there really a difference or a versus?
Well, I mean, the only difference would be that stay-at-home moms have like 20 jobs and working moms really have also actually 30 jobs, really, if we think about it, because they have a job elsewhere and then they come home to having more jobs. So
Yeah.
I don't think there really
The
is a
grind
difference.
is never over.
No.
I think it takes it back, too, if I hear, like, my mom has said it on, like, snow days when she has to work from home. My sister-in-law has said it when she now has a stay-at-home job about how they feel like they work 20 times harder working from their house. So if you think about it, bring it back to stay-at-home moms, I don't feel like there's... Let me just point out, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And a lot of people think I am, and they're like, oh, when you go back to work, it's like, I have businesses. I also run that. Like, I'm a mom and a business owner. And I know you can kind of touch a point on that. And hairstylist is an entrepreneur as well. You're your own business manager. But when you're seen with the kids all the time or, like, doing the running, it's like, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom. But it's like, no, I actually work my jobs on the weekends and in the evenings and, like, do it all. Mm-hmm. But, like, your stay-at-home mom, you have, like, the 20 different jobs, like 100%. You said. And it's like when you go to work, I tell Josh all the time, when I would clock into my job, I did that job and I knew what I was doing, got it done, and left. Mm-hmm. Here, it's like
You have 20
you're
jobs
cooking
at
dinner
once.
and the kids are screaming and the laundry's going off and, like, the dog needs taken out.
The dog's licking the back of your leg. You're getting slobber from the baby. You're getting vomited on. And you're like, oh my God.
Overstimulated.
Yeah.
Or when you're breastfeeding and pumping, it's like, my boobs are leaking. Let's go. You know, like, there's so many different things.
Yeah, it's tough. I've done both, where I was technically a stay-at-home mom. Still had my businesses and stuff on the side, but Brandon, I mean, he pretty much did the finances and still does. Please don't die. I couldn't. I'd be screwed. I would be moving in here because I have no idea about our finances at all.
I always knew you wanted to be my roommate.
I'm surprised we never were.
God, don't let that happen. No. So, I think it's just a whole nother level of chaos. I think there's two different levels of chaos. Like, stay-at-home moms have, you're the butler, you're the maid, you're the chauffeur, you're just doing all these things at once. And then you have the working mom that is zoned into her job while she's at work, but the jobs that are at home, they're still there. Mm-hmm. So when you go home, you still got jobs there.
Yeah. Just because I'm in the salon grinding all day, which might I add, isn't just at the salon. You're on your phone in the evening, which I try not to be because I want to be present.
Sure.
But you got people wanting in for appointments. They're texting you, messaging you. You're working on that. You're working on your schedule. I've
wanted to ask about that too. Like, are you just like available 24/7, or do you make it to where like people can't just call you, like they call the salon? Because I feel like that'd be so annoying, obnoxious, like texting.
You have people that call the salon, but then you have people that are getting a hold of you specifically.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a tight line that, like, once it's past that time of the day, you're just gonna wait with my family. I'll get back to you the following day.
Yeah.
But I do that on the side too. Like, you're always hustling. Mm-hmm. Like, you're always tending to your job to an extent. But yeah, I might think about that while I'm at the salon. But then when I get home, that cleaning is there. The baby is there. The breast pumping is there. Mm-hmm. The dinner, the laundry, it's all there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the only difference, I think the actual difference between stay-at-home moms and working moms is one of y'all get paid, another one don't.
True.
I mean, really, if you want to boil down to it, you're just free labor. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it. I think it's tough either way.
Yeah.
And then going into being a working mom guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad whenever I have to go, like, work the businesses on the weekends and leave my kids with somebody else because I feel guilty for leaving them under somebody else's watch, but then I feel guilty for how my kids are feeling because I know it's out of their routine.
Right.
And
when
nobody does anything like a mom.
Yeah.
You know?
And then when you were working in St. Louis, you had long hours. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there was times you missed stuff, right?
Yeah. So, like, that was, like, what does a day really look like? So, like, when I was working still in St. Louis, I would get up at 4 a.m. I would either breastfeed or pump for Ivy, I would leave by 5 a.m. and then I would drive to St. Louis for my 7 o'clock shift. And
we're still getting used to the audio, people. It's fine.
I would get to St. Louis for my 7 o'clock shift and work until 7:20ish by the time we're done giving a report. And I would pack up all my milk or have to pump again or pump in the car, drive home.
Which was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, as soon as I'd get home.
I don't know why you ever did that as long as you did.
Feed her again and then restart.
Ugh.
It was very long days. But, like, now, like, I consider myself more of a stay-at-home mom because, like, I took that whole first year of her life not knowing if she would be the only child I ever gave birth to experience that mom and child, like, bonding experience, to stay home a little bit more, saved on daycare. Got to
gosh, the cost
experience.
of daycare, bro. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. That is wild. I get it, right? I would much rather pay what we have to pay to have good people and make sure that they're safe. Not going to complain about that, but I'm still going to complain at the fact that it's expensive. Holy crap. I mean, truly, if you think about it, some people only make enough to pay daycare. Yeah. And that's what some of the spouses are working for, just to pay daycare. And then at that point, what are you doing?
So then that's when a lot of moms decide, no, I'm not going to pay daycare. I'm just going to stay
We see
at
that
home.
a lot in the salon, or we had seen that, like, listening to women talk.
I
Like,
think
they're like,
it's
well, I'm quitting my
definitely-
job so that we don't have to pay for daycare.
I think it's on the incline for sure. I think a lot more moms are staying home, or dads. I've seen a ton of dads on social media that mom and dad just keep switching to where one can get out of the house, and after a year, then they're just swapping places. And
It adds up, but I'm with you. You totally get what you pay for, and I value.
Yeah.
I value our daycare.
I mean, truly, a good daycare is hard to come by now. And that's why I didn't even try to look, honestly. When I had Evie, I was like, you know what? I don't live in the same town that I did with the boys, so I don't know anybody down here. I don't know these daycares well enough. I'm not going to do it. So that's when I decided to listen. I'm going to stay at home. And at the beginning, when she was not mobile, it was easier to go to work. So like the first 6 months, 8 months, I still took her to work. And, she's sitting in her little playpen, whatever. And I still tried to work. But eventually got to a point where I was like, this is just becoming more
not getting anything.
done anyways. So I just need to go home.
Ivy was 3 weeks old when I took her to work for the first time, and we were going to work every day at the shop. And I'm like, I'm not only being
what is that?
I don't know. My dog is doing something over there. Not only am I trying to be a quote unquote stay at home mom, because like I said, I'm also working my businesses, but I'm taking care of a newborn, first time mom. I'm first time breastfeeding and pumping. And I'm operating and running my businesses during open hours with my child right next to me.
Get it, girl.
Like, guys, I don't know. I'm here.
What is Aspen doing, dude? Is that your vacuum? Did she send your vacuum off?
You guys carry on, and I'll be right back.
What is she doing?
You guys wanted the bloopers.
Yeah, so we're just gonna leave the stuff in. But anyways, have you ever had a moment? I know Langston's still small, and he's not having like school activities yet, but I'm sure has there ever been a moment where you're like, why am I working? Or anything like that?
Yeah, it was really hard for me to go back to daycare. Get out of here.
Send me back to daycare, baby. Send me.
No, to go back to work. I'll never forget the day I dropped him off. I literally,
I just can't change.
The minute that I was leaving daycare crying, one of the daycare providers, she caught me on the way out, and she's like, do you want a hug? I'm like, yeah, I do.
That would be nice.
But my biggest mom guilt moment was I would keep Langston home with me on Mondays because I was off work on those days. And I'm like, this is our day together. And I mean, till about, almost 10 months. He was doing that with me. And I had a just total mental breakdown. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't get anything done on our Mondays. Those are our time together. But it always was my day to get stuff done too. And nothing was happening. And I felt like I was just slowly drowning. And so the opportunity arose for Langston to start going on Mondays. Mom guilt, dude. I
remember you calling me and like we talked over the pros and cons
or something maybe. And Chandra's like, just because he's there just because that position's open doesn't mean he has to go every single time.
Right.
You're securing the spot, and if you want to hang out with him, you keep him home.
Yeah.
And that's when it clicked, and I'm like, oh, true. Like, I could do that. But just knowing that I was giving up that day with him is what I felt like, and I felt like the worst.
Did you figure out what she was doing?
She was trying to get her treats out of the tray.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So yeah, that was my biggest mom guilt moment so far, with having a job, but having a day off, and then
The crazy
then
thing is we
choosing-
have mom guilt, but at the same time, we know our kids are being very well taken care of.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
They're like,
Trent
we
was
feel
even-
bad, but like, why?
right.
Trent was like, Courtney, no offense to you, but Langston is going to have so much more fun going to daycare, being with the other kids, watching them, playing with them,
Having the social.
learning
Yep.
from them, being social, as opposed to hanging out at home
Yeah.
with you.
With you.
And the same toys that he sees every single day.
Right.
He's like, and I was like, oh yeah, true. I mean,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that.
He kind of gets to be a kid a little bit
Shoot,
more.
we get bored of being at home.
Oh,
I can
100%.
only imagine a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is like balancing career and kids. That is hard. Hard.
It's really hard, especially
think
when you have to
it's-
drag them around with
I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
yesterday was Father's Day, so we're celebrating Dad all day. Like, we're going to church, we're going to lunch, we're going to dinner, because he decided none of us were cooking yesterday, which I'm all right. You know, I'm good with that.
Hey, take me out for a good steak dinner, baby. I'll take it.
But we got home late last night, and it's like 9:00, and then I'm working on my work. So it's like the balance. It's like
it's
impossible.
tough. Like you were saying earlier, I mean, you don't even at night when your kids and you actually have a minute to breathe and think clearly. Then you're up until midnight, 1 a.m. And then you're like, man, I had to get it done. Like last night when I was finishing up the podcast, I had to get it done and I was locked in. And by the time I got off, I realized it was midnight. And I'm like, dude, I'm really going to hate myself in the morning. But then I have a hard time falling asleep because you've already been working and you're up. So then it takes even longer. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, dang, I shouldn't have done that. But that's the only time you get. When else are you supposed to do it?
I feel like the day-to-day goes by way too fast anyways.
Yep.
But then with having a full-time job, I feel like it goes even quicker because by the time you wake up, you get ready. We get the baby ready. I take him to daycare. I go to work. Or I pick him up. We do all the evening stuff, bath, dinner, whatever. Next thing you know, it's time for bed, which is so sad how little time you feel like you actually get with them.
Yep.
That's also mom guilt. But then next thing you know, it's such a vicious cycle that I'm like, oh my God, it's already the weekend again, which cool. Love that.
Right.
But another week went by.
Yeah, another week. That
I'm
you know
like-
they're just 1 week older.
That was the thing, like, whenever I started staying home with Ivy, I'm like, I'm the same cycle all the time. Where at least, like, at the hospital, I'm seeing different things every day.
Different
New
faces.
patients,
Monotonous.
new
Adult.
patients. It's like, oh my gosh, I need that mental break. And then, thank God, you know, sometimes it'd be like Josh would step in. I'm like, I needed you. I needed you to do this. I need you to do something different. Like, I can't.
And that's when we really have to, you know, hone in on the fact of like really pushing the mom guilt to the side and trying not to like really fall into it, because I remember there was a time that, you know, I would feel guilty going to the store by myself.
I think it's the weirdest feeling. It's like,
I'm like,
I'm by myself.
Yeah, like I can't even enjoy it. Like when your husbands really do step up and they're like, hey, why don't you just run the store? I mean, the kids are here, they're fine, they're playing, whatever. You're like, yeah. That'd be way easier for me to get in and out by myself. And then you get there and you're like, well,
Like,
it's
this is
just
weird.
me. I wonder what they're doing. But then as soon as like they're with you, you're like, ah!
You're like,
Where's
oh
your
my God,
dad?
back to the store I go.
Yeah. Or you're trying to like just ditch the store and you're like, I'll just do pickup. I can't do this. This is just crazy. Yeah. The emotions is literally like a roller coaster. And yeah, I think mom guilt's really heavy sometimes.
With Courtney working out of the house, I always tell her, I'm like, do Walmart pickup because it saves you so much time.
We have never done Walmart
She
pickup.
still won't do it. And I'm like, these
We
are just
grocery
such
shop as
helpful.
a family. We do it. Me, Trey, and Langston go together.
See, I
Just
like
get on
that
the laptop
too.
and scroll and just.
But
buy
see, I
it.
like being
My
in the
husband
store.
will not.
Brandon's a heavy on
know.
it. Like he's like, dude, you literally could have not only spent less money, but you could have already had this done in a matter of a fraction of the time of when you go to the store. I'm like, but I like browsing.
Yeah, I like the produce section. That's my favorite place to be.
I don't like people picking out my produce.
Yeah.
Oh, see, we go in. And
I
we pick
envy
our
those
produce.
people who can have delivery too. Like when we go on vacation, like I was telling you, we literally have the groceries already ready there when we get there. I love that.
Do you get?
Besides
you don't
produce.
get delivery out here?
No.
I found out, and the reason I asked this is because I found out the other day. Sorry, quick, I'm going off. Shut up. People in like Frona or Altenburg, they get Walmart delivery.
Seriously?
Yeah. Have you ever checked?
No.
Because it seems
Oh
like
my
they're starting to
gosh,
go
do you
further
get
and further.
Walmart delivery? No.
We checked DoorDash and it didn't, so we just assumed nothing would.
Check Walmart. Apparently, they're starting to go way further out than they used to.
Okay. Good to know. You just got to tip them good.
Yeah, right. Hey, can I get the same driver every time? I really like this one. Anyways, back to what we were saying. Which was what?
We got to keep her on task.
Sorry, guys. I get off task a lot.
No, I was gonna say I do definitely help the thing. I definitely think that having the salon job and being with different faces, love my clientele. They're like friends, like family. But I do think that helps break up my day to day. But I couldn't imagine seeing the same four walls every day. So whether you rock a full-time job as a mom or you stay within the four walls with your kids, you're awesome. You're an MVP.
Dude,
There is no verses.
There is
Everybody,
no right. There's
no
no
verses,
wrong,
for
dude.
sure.
You don't get a medal for whatever path you pick. Okay?
Regardless,
Exactly.
at the end of the day, your title is still mother.
Yep.
Yeah.
Regardless if you're going to work, if you're staying home, guess what? All of it still has to be done.
Yeah.
All of it's still the same. pretty
Every
much.
single thing. Some myths that I had typed up here that I kind of wanted to talk about because they kind of irk me sometimes.
Ooh,
Ready?
I see one.
Here's some Mythbusters. Stay-at-home moms don't work.
I think we've already just hit.
They
that.
work harder for sure.
And you know what? There have been actual, like what I've seen, articles written on stay-at-home moms having equivalent of like 10 jobs, and you should be getting paid, you know, like 20 not 20,000, like almost like $100,000 for what you're doing, and you get paid nothing. So yeah, no, that's a
It's
lot.
kind of like that breastfeeding thing. Have you ever seen that? Like how many hours or minutes a day you breastfeed? This many ounces, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I could go off on a tangent, but like how much that technically saves you or makes you, or you know what I'm
So
talking
you're
about.
doing that job, and then you're raising this newborn, and so like my whole life was just and yours. We all three did the same thing. It's like
It's an additional
Oh my
job to what
gosh.
you're already doing. I mean, that's really what it is.
And then staying home is another job. Like, yeah, it's like I love our husbands, but like they think we can handle more just because we're staying home. But it's like we already have a full plate. Yeah.
And you don't see what you're doing. Like a lot of stay-at-home moms, like I know that sometimes husbands come home and they're like, "What did you do all day?"
I survived.
Did you see how many? You didn't see the vomit that I cleaned up while I was in the middle of doing dishes, while the dog's licking the back of my knee. So I'm already going crazy. While the other child's drawing on the wall, while the laundry's going, and it's been going for like 3 sets now. So I'm just going to go ahead and start it again for the next 2 hours when I forget and have to start it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I have ADHD. When I walk into a room, I'm like, oh, this needs to be done.
My
Oh, wait, I
husband
need to
tells
do
me the
this.
same thing.
Oh,
Yes.
man, this needs to be done. And then by the time you're done, you've done a minimal of everything and have accomplished nothing.
Yep.
So
Let's do the next one. Working moms care more about their career than their kids.
yikes.
False.
It just
That's
takes
crazy.
nothing. It takes 2 incomes sometimes to survive in this world.
Most of it
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
2 income.
Yeah.
I mean, this world is not set up.
Yep.
Nothing will ever, nobody will ever convince me that I love my clients. If you're watching, I love you. But nothing will ever convince me that I care about my job more than Langston.
There are so many people. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee if you walked up to somebody, they'd say, I'll quit right now. If it has anything to do with my kids, I'll quit. I
The
do not
minute
care.
that needs me, I don't know how many times I've bailed out of work to go get him.
Yeah. So that's
That's a big myth.
a
For
big one.
sure.
Women are just, when they're working, they're trying to have their own identity as well. Like, it doesn't mean that they care more about that than their kids. They're just trying to have their independent thing.
You
that they
have
do
to
too.
disconnect.
You have to have something. Let's do the next one. Stay-at-home moms are lazy.
Wow.
Let's just set this whole
That's
sentence on
wild.
fire.
Set the house on fire.
Who
Y'all
said
did.
this? Yeah, who said this? Because they wrong. All right, working moms miss all the important moments. Okay, so I can speak a little bit on this. Working like basically with drive time and the long hours in nursing, it's like 16 hours a day that I had. So there was moments that I would miss, or like there was moments over the last 11 years of nursing. Yeah, because it's 25. 11 years of nursing that I've had to miss, like a wedding or a birthday party or
holidays,
family gathering. Tons
Holidays.
and tons of holidays I've had to miss. Love, like my mom's side of the family, we always would. My aunt was a nurse too, so well, she still is a nurse. We would switch the holiday with her family to a non-holiday date where we could all
We
still
made
be
it work
present.
with
We made it
whatever.
work. Yeah. So I love the families that can do that because like you can't always celebrate it on the holiday, especially when you are a medical professional.
That's a whole nother tangent. Holidays are tough enough.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to expect me to be somewhere, just go ahead and write me off because I got my own stuff going on. I got my own family. I don't
We
need to
have
worry about
6
8 different households
Yeah.
on the same day.
We have
okay?
6 Christmases.
That's wild.
But being a working mom, like I had to miss those. So that was another big reason that Josh is like, let's keep you here. So like I went from full-time to part-time while I completed my master's and then went down to being at home and just doing the businesses. Because at one point I was doing nursing full-time, helping raise the kids, going to school, running the 2 businesses, all while I was still doing it full-time.
And you were also pregnant at some point, right?
I was pregnant and sick all day, every day. It was awful. Awful.
Really, truly. Sometimes I like think back to the times you'd Snapchat or we talk, and I really don't know how you didn't just like cease to exist because there's a lot of times
to exist.
that I'm just like this woman is literally riding on a dream here because there's no way that you would be up until the sun came up until the sun went down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Working's just always
Wow.
been like a big part of who I am. I remember getting my first job at 15, just fresh 15, and my mom driving me. And it's just, I don't know. I've always felt like a working, like busybody.
You remind me of my uncle. You will never not be able to
That's,
work.
yeah, I'm always doing something. And so I know somebody had messaged me and they're like, oh my gosh, what do you not do? Like with the podcast announcement came out and it's like, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
And I do things that I love. And so it's kind of like not work. Like this doesn't feel like work to me. I get to hang out with my best friends, sister basically since the get-go. And it's just, I don't know. I enjoy it. I love it.
You've been like that since the day I've met
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
that's not surprising to me.
Oh, let's see the next one. Oh, that's all of them for now.
Okay. Well, what was other points?
Mom guilt. Who feels it more? We kind of talked about mom guilt, but who feels it more? Like dad,
Working.
mom.
Oh, I thought it was like the
Kiddos.
working mom versus.
Okay, working mom versus non-work, stay-at-home mom.
I think it's heavy either side. I think it's
Yeah.
just a different perspective.
I think my mom guilt is feeling like I miss out sometimes. Like what
or
he
the
might
milestones
do.
because he's at. I remember
Exactly.
working when Bentley crawled for the first time,
Ugh.
and I literally fell apart. I'm like, I should be watching him. I should be
Weren't we
teaching
in
him.
the
I
little
should be
office?
there.
The little office in
Yeah.
the gravel parking
Yeah,
lot.
and I got a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
remember
was. It really rocked my
Yeah.
world. So I
Little
think it really just depends.
Benny.
Bentley, and he's gonna be 13,
I
bro.
know.
Don't get me started.
Little Bentley.
Oh my good lord.
Let's talk about the judgment from other moms, social media comparisons, and internal pressure.
That one's a tough one.
I feel like social media makes everything look glorified
Oh, it
and
makes it look
easy.
so easy.
Especially the stay-at-home moms. Now, nothing against y'all. I'm a part of me is lazy, okay, and uneducated, but the ones that like really promote cooking from scratch and doing like all these things that are so tedious that I just don't know how you have the time for it. I
Or
truly don't.
organize refrigerators. I just can't. Like I want
Oh,
to.
we know, Chandra. What'd you call it? The Leaning Tower of Pisa?
When I opened her fridge to put my pump parts in there earlier, I'm like, this thing about to follow me? Is there going to be a
It's gonna
freaking avalanche?
explode with everything I got in there.
Now, don't get me wrong. TikTok and stuff, that stuff's eye candy to me. I'll watch it.
But,
I think
like,
it's really cool.
And dream
but-
about it.
I
I
just
just want to do it.
I'm lucky to clean it out and spray it down and disinfect, but like
Sorry, guys. I didn't pay attention to the camera. Cut off. Chandra was saying how she doesn't have time to organize her fridge. I said in my rebuttal is that she could organize it after she gets done disinfecting it.
and then I said, but I have older kids who just get in there and mess it up again anyway. So it's like
It's a no-win.
it's
Yeah,
a no-win.
it's a no-win in this household specifically. Like we said, if you do it, I envy you.
Mm-hmm.
I truly do.
We're talking about like social media pressure. Like those
Oh, yeah.
moms probably
Oh.
don't have
I went back
school age
to
kiddos that do that unless like she's got them trained well. And I need your number.
Yeah.
And I need all the tips in the videos because help a mama out.
Yes, that's right. And then
I wanted to go back into the judgmental mom side of it because that was a thing. And I was going to say, I'm not trying to judge anybody because I feel like I could do something differently or be better. I feel like you can always grow as a mom.
Oh, 100%. There was one time I remember being in the store, and I'll never forget this because I was like, it's like I checked myself in that moment. I remember walking through a store and actually, I think it was a restaurant. We sat down at a restaurant one time, and I saw that somebody had their kid with a tablet or something. And I remember that my first thought is, well, why aren't you just playing with your kid? Is he a tablet kid? And then I remember checking myself and being like, maybe this is literally the only time they get to sit and eat. And if that is giving them a tablet so they can have a peace of mind, have at it. Mm-hmm. And that's when I was like, man, that was a really nasty thought I had, and I really need to check myself because I do it. Yeah. If I need a moment of peace, or if me and Brandon want to have a conversation during lunch, when, it's me, him, and Evie, on the days that Evie doesn't go to school, I'm guilty of giving her my phone and being like, please just sit. And then having a conversation with my husband. So, yeah, I really had to check myself. And I think a lot of people don't check themselves enough and they run their mouths, which I think you really should check yourself and not run your mouth because, like Courtney was saying, everybody could do better and be better. Mm-hmm. So let's not judge other people unless it's a safety thing. If it's a safety thing, I think a conversation needs to be had. Mm-hmm. If you see a car seat not, correct or something, because that's somebody's life on the line at that point. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at that point, it should also be a nice conversation. It doesn't need to be an attack. Hey, your baby's strapped in wrong, you freaking loser. What is that going to accomplish? Nothing, dude. Calm down. Just like, hey, maybe you already know. I just wanted to let you know. Spark a conversation. Educate.
Yeah.
Don't attack.
Educate for sure. What we wish the other side knew. What do we admire about, like, the other opposite end of the spectrum?
So,
like working mom to stay-at-home mom.
Like, you go in every day to the shop. What do you admire about those that don't have to do that?
Oh, I give you guys mad props for tending to everything while having to be with the child all day. However, like, I do think there is a fine line because I do that same thing, just not all day. Right. I do it in the evening when I get home. Mm-hmm. Granted, at that point, I have Trent home most of the time with me to help. Mm-hmm. So one of us is able to keep the baby busy while the other one's trying to tackle some stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes I think we're quick to judge the opposite side.
100%.
Like,
that's human nature. I don't think a lot of people do it with malice. Now, there are some of y'all that really step out of line, check it, clock it, change it. But I think, like, most people, I don't think are, going out there and maliciously trying to judge somebody. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, have good intentions. Yeah. Maybe the delivery's not necessarily great.
Right. Like, I think people think just because we might be at work all day, we aren't momming as hard.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Or maybe you don't
somebody
have the
else
mom
is
guilt.
doing our job. Or we don't have the mom guilt. Like, I don't know. I think it could go both ways, really. But that's
100%.
just the one thing. Like, I do still feel like momming is hard.
It is. I admire the routine because, like, that's one thing I miss is, like, I knew when I was going to work, what my schedule was.
I will say that.
The routine, like, you guys, I feel like me and Josh are like, we joke, we're like, well, now they're having dinner. Well, now they're sitting down and watching TV. It's like, I miss that routine because when you're home more during the day, there ain't no routine. Mm-hmm. I feel like being home with a toddler
You can try,
all the time.
and a lot of times
through the week,
work.
I feel like we have a pretty. Did I just say through the work?
Through the week. No, you said the week.
I think you said week.
Playback. Through the week, I feel like we have a really solid schedule. Like, we get home, we do all the things, whatever. But we are not schedule people by any means. You want to do something on the weekend? Boom, we're there. You ask us to XYZ, we're doing it. We got you. We're whatever. We're not, nope. This is what we have at 2 p.m. on this day every day. Like, we can't miss this.
And you know who used to be like that? And you know who's not like that anymore?
The most
you guys
chill
don't
human.
understand. You guys don't understand because you did not know her.
Know her.
Also understand because she used to be. I mean, if we were late or out of line or couldn't make something, she'd be like, well, why not? What are you doing? I am also doing that.
Now
I can
we're
make
lucky
it.
if she's ready to podcast in her own house on time.
On time.
But now, like, I have 4 and she's got the 1. And she gives me so much crap for, like, being a little late. And I'm like, I got 4 kiddos plus myself.
Hey, remember when I used to try to use that as an excuse? Because I also had two.
You also had one for the longest time.
I had two at some point and was like,
Wrangle it back in, ladies.
I had two at one point, and you were like, it's not an excuse. Get up earlier. Get them dressed sooner. What are you doing? Don't let her gaslight any of you, okay?
Oh my God.
I'm done with it. I'm not letting her gaslight me
Let's go to the
either.
next question. What do you struggle with in your role? Timing. Because no matter how much ahead I can think I am, here's my morning routine. And I love my morning routine because it's always the same. But, like, after mornings, it's like if Ivy's home, no routine. Besides, like, we try to do a nap and lunch, but you just never know how that toddler brain's going to think. So, like, morning routine, my alarm goes off, I get up, I get the kids' vitamins out in their Zyrtec, wake them up, like, start warming up the milk for Ivy.
Yeah.
Get her medicine ready, go get myself ready, brush my teeth, like, get myself together, start packing her stuff up, wake her up. You know, pack the bag, like, do all this stuff, right?
We'll circle back in a minute.
This is blooper number 2 for today.
No.
Okay,
Y'all said you like them, so we're being
So we're
real chill.
leaving it.
I'm just laughing because everybody thinks that, like, I'm so in my schedule and I got it together because I'm a working mom who does this 5 days a week. But you guys don't see me in the morning trying to make myself presentable for a salon job, picking up my son in his walker, taking him to the kitchen. We're eating breakfast, picking him up in his walker, taking him to the bathroom because he can't not be with mom.
Yeah.
So
I'm like sitting here and I'm like, although they think it's just rainbows and butterflies because I do the boom, boom, boom 5 days a week. It's not.
I did the same thing with Ivy and her bouncer. I would just take her
the whole thing
to
up and
each
take-
room. I'm like, whatever. I just got to get through this.
Yeah.
You know,
Proceed.
just whatever. We're talking about what we struggle with in our own role. So it's like my morning routine is like to the minute. We know when we got to be out the door. I'm like, kids, you got a 3-minute countdown. Like, let's go. And then it's like, we're going to a birthday party or something. And somebody's coming up in mismatched socks, or like they're not putting the outfit
those are
in.
the things.
choose.
They're not
her battles.
They're not putting the outfit on that they picked out for Monday through Friday. So then they're searching for 20 minutes for an outfit, and I'm like, why? You already picked out an outfit for today. Like, or the other day, it's 89 degrees outside, and Lexi comes out of her room in boots, bell-bottom jeans, and a long sleeve 3/4 shirt, and I'm like, yo, homegirl.
Hey, you know what I call
It's
that?
hot. You're like,
you know
sweetie,
what I
I'm
call
sweating
that?
just staring at you.
You know what I call that? I call that natural consequences. They will learn better when they mess up. So when Bentley decides to go outside, and I've warned, you know, it's not like I don't give a warning. Most of the time I'll be like, hey, it's hot. And if you don't listen, I call that a natural consequence, babe. Mama warned you, you didn't listen. This is your consequence. I guarantee you'll remember next time, or at least listen to me next time. Or maybe the next third time. I don't know.
I love it.
But that is what I call
That
natural.
takes me back to last week. I got called like twice from James's PE coach who's filling in as the nurse for summer school. And it was every time about James getting like kicked in the face or hit in the face with a ball or kneed in the face.
His braces.
Because no, that's Jordan. James.
Oh, you said James. Why did I
James.
think Jordan?
James keeps sliding at recess and getting nailed in the face. And I'm like,
Oh, that's natural consequence.
you keep making the same choices. And we told you to stop sliding. Like, come on now. Okay, so anything you struggle with in your role of like being a working mom?
I mean, I think I basically covered it. We talked mom guilt. You have a lot of that.
She clocked you on just because she has a routine doesn't mean
Yeah,
that it's easy.
Clocking it, dude. It's not easy. It's not just the day to day. It's not.
Okay, what about adult interaction?
You see how she just cut you off?
I'm sorry.
She said we already talked about it.
Did you guys see that? Sisterhood, 32 years. I'm used to it. Proceed.
You told me to.
Proceed.
We need to cut this right now.
No.
No. I'm kidding. Okay. So what about your adult interaction? I know she gets a ton.
Oh, I'm socializing all day, every day.
I don't. Even when I go to work, I'm usually in the back office, and then I'm bugging my husband at some point, and he's getting mad because I'm asking him too many questions. So I don't really get adult. I talk to the other coworkers, but it's very minimal. I mean, I'm usually just sitting in my back office doing my work, and then that's it. When I was strictly at home, I think I craved it so bad that sometimes I missed my old life.
Yeah.
And then, you start spiraling with that. And then you start spiraling with mom. You're like, how dare I miss my old life?
And I feel like you're such a social person. So to go from being so social to then being a stay-at-home mom. And like I said, I couldn't imagine being in the same four walls all day. And then you're just such a...
It was hard being like a workaholic and working so many hours out of the home. And then, although you're working in the home, just being in the home,
She's terrible at this.
I just need to wear it. It is a big adjustment, like working outside and then working in, and it's like you do miss out. You miss your old self.
You do. That's when moms start. I think a lot of stay-at-home moms tend to have more of a spiral at some point in losing themselves than working moms, just because. Now, I'm talking working moms in my experience where it's more, or your experience where you have more of an adult interaction versus I'm not sure about the ones that really don't. Like if you have a job where you're literally in a box all day, then this probably doesn't pertain to you. But I'm talking solely off of if you're still getting adult interaction. I don't think you're going to, my personal opinion, I could be very well wrong. Okay. Clock me if I am. But I think you're less likely to kind of lose yourself to a certain degree. I'm sure you still lose yourself at some point.
I could see that.
If you get what I'm saying.
I feel like I would feel more lonely
if you didn't have the adult interaction within the day. So
I could get that.
You have to like definitely reach out to your friends, your family, all that stuff. Or I think I got that social interaction.
That, and I think I got my feelings a lot hurt more when I was stay-at-home mom. Like I took things more to heart. Like if I saw friends out and doing something I wasn't invited, I was like, what about me? Like, I'm still here, guys. Like, just because I'm at home doesn't mean I don't exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I got my feelings hurt a lot more.
Yeah.
Just because of isolation, loneliness, having the same four walls, little toddlers that don't understand what you're saying, so you can't even have a conversation with them.
Yeah, that takes me to another subject I don't even think is on here. I feel like moms, though, that like stay at home are less likely to say yes to going to those things because they think that they're just the ringleader of the household.
I was just thinking about this, and I was thinking about how I feel like sometimes people either A, won't ask you guys to do things, or B, they have asked you, you may have had to say no multiple times, so then they give up on asking you. And I think that's so unfair. Like, give the opportunity.
Right. And I think that's where some moms will get it and some people don't, especially the people that don't have kids. It's tough because like you just said, you're the ringleader. You got to ring up your circus. You got to figure out what to do if you are going to go do these things, if kids aren't allowed. So I understand why people wouldn't invite me or do things with me more, especially if you couldn't bring your kids. And I don't know necessarily if I have any friends like this, but I know that there's friends out there that just aren't kid people. So they're, you know what I mean? Which if you're not a kid person, do you, boo? At one point in my life, I thought I wasn't a kid person either. Don't really have that choice anymore, but here we are. But yeah, I think that's a whole, I could just spiral down that subject, but yeah, I think you're 100% right with being asked. And then I don't think their intentions are to hurt your feelings. Like you said, you've just said no too many times, or, it's too difficult to figure it out. So then, like you said, you're just less likely to say yes, but it's just the thought of being invited would be nice,
But I think it's like important too to promote like that stay-at-home mom. You need that time away. You need that time to socialize and to separate. Yeah, like your identity separation. Like it's
and you have to force yourself sometimes.
You have to force yourself. Like I remember for a long time, you're in comfortable clothes. You're not doing your makeup. Like you're lucky if you get to wash your hair every 3 days. Just getting ready, putting on that makeup, and going. You just are like, man, I need to do this.
Kind of like what you had told us the other day when Trent had to force you that one time when you were the day before.
I wanted out so bad, and then I had an out, and I got invited to go do something, and I'm like,
you're like, no, I think I'll stay home. And Trent's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So sometimes you either have to have a really good partner to force you to do it, or you just have to make sure you have to get yourself to that point, because I know there were several times where I had to force myself to do something, but once I was there, it's like, okay, this is nice. I'd like to do this more. You know what I mean? You get so stuck in the same just routine or
it's
lack thereof,
like a hamster wheel.
Like you're just stuck in the same cycle over and over and over and over, and you don't know what else to do. We're good. We got another 4 minutes. Don't mind us.
Moving on to like societal expectations, like that hamster wheel we were talking about. Something stay-at-home moms hear all the time is, must be nice to stay home. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it. I hate that saying regardless. I know I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I've done it. But like if you're truly pointing it at somebody like kind of maliciously or out of jealousy or whatever, I can't stand that no matter how you look at it. Like when people just automatically assume that just because you have businesses or you have a good job that you have a butt ton of money, that must be nice. Do you know the amount of work that this has had to take to get to this point? And you don't know my finances. Just because I have this going doesn't mean nothing.
Save money like we talked about earlier. So it doesn't mean you have more money. It could mean you're saving money.
Or you're investing and trying to make more money later in life.
But I feel like that could also go back the other way too, because we do get a break from motherhood during the day in a sense.
Oh, working. Yes.
People are like, oh, at least you get time away. Yeah. At least you get to be you.
Yep.
At least you don't have to do it 24/7. But let me tell you, when I'm at work, I'm thinking about my baby.
Yeah.
All day. All day.
We're like on the contrary. I think working moms, like outside the home, hear the saying like, where are your kids all day? Or who's watching your kids?
Who's watching your kids?
Or how do you do it? Like, but I think that's a praise comment. How do you do it? Because, I mean, to leave your child under somebody's care and then to work and like do both, it takes a lot. So I think that that's like a praise statement.
It's almost like almost a double-edged sword. It depends on how you take it, I guess.
Yeah, true, for sure.
But I just want a little side note, which we probably should have done this in the other episode, but you saying who's watching your kids, I think one of the pet peeves of mine is when nobody does that to dads, but they do it to moms. Why?
That leads me to like another talking topic that I had on here is everyone has opinions, but few have actual help.
Yeah, truly.
So like,
or offer help.
Offer help. Yeah. Like how can you judge or like,
and you're not going to
talk
give me a solution
negatively or down, but like you're not coming up with the solution and we can't judge. Like grandma could be watching them. Yeah. You know, a babysitter, hired help, like a nanny. She's got her bases covered. Like,
and don't ever say, if I reply to you, hey, dad's got him. Oh, he's watching his kids. Or no, it's not watching. He's babysitting his kids. No, babe. No, dads cannot babysit their children. They're watching their children. There's a big difference. I can't. That's another pet peeve too, which shouldn't even be that big of a deal because I'm sure most people don't mean it like that. And maybe they're joking, but it's just my skin.
Yeah.
Makes my skin
because nobody says, is mom babysitting the kids today?
Is mom babysitting? No, babe. I'm watching my children like any other parent, okay? So, yeah. I don't know. That was a little side tangent, but...
No, I get that. I agree.
Yeah, I think we all need to look and listen, but not to judge, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, it's human nature, and I think a lot of people need to just maybe keep that thought to themselves a little bit and then reflect. I think that's a big thing is people run their mouths too quick and not reflect first.
Yeah.
Take a second. Make sure that what you're about to say is either helpful or nice. And if it's not, probably don't say it.
Swallow your words.
Yeah.
I think despite like the different paths that you can do, stay at home, working, work remotely and still have the capabilities of having your kids at home, that's super hard. And I know a lot of jobs won't let you do it, but if there's one like telephonic jobs, maybe you could just do the telephone calls.
Or you could be home still. I feel like that's even twice as hard.
That'd be hard. Yeah.
Wow.
I think regardless, we're all doing multiple jobs. We all love our children with our whole hearts.
Mentally.
We all are tired and mentally overloaded. Like, we just got to give each other grace, for sure.
That's all you can do. I mean, we're all the same. We were all created in the image of God, so we should all be respected.
For sure. And I think moms wrestle with self-care. I think that's something 100%. That none of us put on the front
Working
burner.
moms, stay-at-home moms, everybody wrestles with self-care, and I think it's really important that you do get it. But I think
schedule that hair appointment.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, I work in a salon, and I am lacking on self-care.
I couldn't tell. Well, you can see last time, I mean, my hair's grown out. That's bad.
The other day I told my husband I have a hair appointment tomorrow, and he goes, oh, it's like one of your 4 a year. I was like, no, honey, I haven't had it done in a year. He's like, no, you've had it done before.
She literally calls me at night. When was the last time I got my hair done?
I said July 2nd.
Of 24. And it in fact was.
It was July 2nd. And he goes, well, you got it done for Tara's wedding.
You see her little I told you side come out.
Yeah. I am all about the facts. Ask everybody.
Facts.
Facts. You had it done for Tara's wedding, and you had it done for.
That's an updo.
I said that's not, an updo. It's not getting my hair done.
Men.
I was gonna say that's a man thing.
Men. So I just think like take that time, make your appointments, go get a massage, go get your nails done, like paint your own nails if you need to stay at home and do that.
100%.
Just something.
We understand there's a lot of people that don't have help, and you know, I've been fortunate enough to have people that have stepped up to the plate that I like grandparents that aren't bio grandparents, so I do have more help than others. But I've seen military people that have moved around the country and they have zero help because their family's on the other side of the world. That's tough. I really don't have much advice except to try your best to at least make yourself a priority at some point, whether it's when the baby's sleeping or if the husband can step up to the plate, which they should, just as much as moms need to step up to the plate and give the dads a break every now and then. Because I've never been in that situation, so I really don't.
Yeah.
I can't speak on it. So.
For sure. And I think like some closing remarks basically is like the choice to stay home versus a choice to work.
Doesn't matter.
There's not a right or a wrong.
It's your choice to make.
It's whatever works, and what works today might not work tomorrow.
100%.
I mean, every day is different. So you just kind of roll with it and take it day by day, because what else can we do? You know?
Nothing. I mean, life's hard.
We don't know what's to come, for sure. So be sure, share this so that other moms, you know, who are in the trenches know, like, if you're stay at home, we're support. We are your cheerleaders. If you need some advice, we're all here. If you need to give us some remarks on like how you can do it better than, you know,
I was gonna say,
we think we can.
Let us know what works for you guys. Like if you don't have help, how do you manage it? How do you
give me the refrigerator tips?
Give us your number so we know how to do things around here.
Yeah, like I will hire somebody to come do that for me.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to be organized. That's it. Like, it's hard.
It's just so surprising to hear that from you, but that's just.
I have to live off organization with the hectic
That's what
schedules.
I'm saying. That I just remember you always being organized. It's just funny to hear you say that.
It's just hard because I have other bodies that like make me unorganized.
So I get to say I told you so because I tried to tell her this when I had children, but she didn't listen. She says, there's excuses. Anyway.
Oh, welcome to our chaos. And we hope that you just stay connected. We hope that you're sharing this, and we hope that you're vibing with it because we love talking to you guys.
Rock and roll, baby.
So we will see you again soon. In the meantime, we are
Motherhood